Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Bonky Cook here, aka your Lonely Achievement Guide. Coming back at you with what is potentially the final leg walkthroughs update, and I will get into more detail with that in a bit here. But this video, the cliff notes of the information included, is pretty simple. I'm going to give you a little bit of a life update for those of you that have become somewhat personally invested in what happened to me. And then we're going to talk about the potential for a new name for the leg walkthroughs and the introduction of a logo, which is also in the plans, and as well we're going to talk about the potential for new content in the future. So let's go ahead and get started. For those of you that have followed along, the last update let you all know that I would be moving, and that did happen. However, like most well-laid plans, it exploded. I was not able to move on the week that I took paid vacation from work, which meant most of September was spent unpacking on my days off, which was miserable. The electricians vastly underestimated the amount of work they had to do and were here an extra week and a half. And they ended up sending an extra person. It would have been an extra two to 3 weeks if they hadn't doubled up the manpower. So I wasn't able to move how I intended to. I am far behind on my schedule in reality of where I had hoped to be at this point. But the good news is I have enough clarity that I know where everything stands, and so I can still give you a promising update for everything involved. I am doing significantly better than I have been. You can probably tell from my voice that my mood is much better than it was. I will say that being significantly better than extremely terrified and miserable is not hard, but we're still at about a neutral mood here. There's still a lot of crap that has happened to me, including the last couple of weeks. I am finding out that my left eye transplant is failing, so I'm going to have to get another one of those, which is always fun. And again, that'll be my 10th surgery in 14 years. Well, depending on when it happens, it could be 15 or 16 years, but we're definitely on the path to needing to get another transplant in my left eye. So, awesome. With that in mind, I've kind of just been delving into my achievement content as much as I can. So let's talk about that. I do have a new name. The previous name, Leg Walkthroughs, and a logo that I never introduced to anyone were made in part because of my ex-fiance who was abusing me. So I'd really like to get away from that name. I also feel as though Leg Walkthroughs doesn't accurately represent what I do, so I wanted to get away from that name for a while anyways, even though I did like it at the beginning because I am lonely and I'm good at getting achievements. But the lonely achievement good also didn't sound very good, so we went with the lonely achievement god, and lag is a common gaming term. But as it turns out, I think I have a much better name lined up. I'm not going to drop it yet because I legally still have a few things I need to do before I have it trademarked, etc. So I don't want to share that yet. But there will be a new name coming, one that I think more accurately reflects the content of the channel. And unfortunately, that costs money. It's going to cost me $50 just to change the name and address from moving. And while I've messed around with creating logos and all that myself, the amount of time I would have to invest to learn some of those programs to do it is not really worth it for me. So I have to be able to financially drop about $100 for the new logo and the name change and all that. And financially, I'm still waiting on kind of a budget plan for my bills. I need to have a better idea of what my bills are going to be month to month before I can drop that money. So right now, The tentative plan is that by the end of the year or the first of next year, I should be having an entire makeover to lag walkthroughs. It will be called something new. It will have a logo that will be in place at the beginning of my videos and all that fun stuff. And that's all stuff I have to work on. I have picked up a second job, which is a part-time job. I'm already working 40 hours a week, but I am going to be working part-time doing this other thing as well. And that's going to provide me a little more money, but it also cuts into my time for making walkthroughs. So that kind of brings us to the next step of everything. What am I going to be making content of? And the reality is, I get 36 hours off a week. I get 3 days off because I work 4 10-hour shifts. That does mean that on the days I work, I barely have any time to do anything. Unfortunately, 10-hour shifts means 11 hours with a lunch. If you include 12 hours just in prep to get to work and drive home after, like, plus including time to sleep, you just don't have a lot of time. And the video game that I am currently making a walkthrough for is about a 25 to 30 hour completion. Now keep in mind, I have to play it once to make the rough draft of the walkthrough. So that's 25 hours. I play it again to fine-tune it. That's 50 hours. Then I have to record everything, which is another 25 hours. I'm looking at 75 hours just to make the walkthrough. And that doesn't include all of the text content, where I have to refine that if I do any, where I have to refine that if I do any, like resource walkthroughs for collectibles and stuff like that that are independent of the walkthrough. There is an excessive amount of content involved in making the best achievement walkthroughs out there. With that in mind, I'm going to have to start working on smaller content as well. So I will be returning to doing some of the Radalaikas and the like. I don't know how much yet, but I do want to be clear that I still plan to finish my Danganronpa 2 and Danganronpa 3 walkthroughs. I do love those games, and I do want to make the walkthroughs for them. I also hope to be able to make a walkthrough for the third game in the Zero Escape trilogy, Zero Time Dilemma. But I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to do that. Danganronpa 3 is a 60 to 80 hour completion. Now, I haven't been able to, narrow that down yet, but even if I can narrow it down to 50 hours, I'm looking at 200 hours of work just to get that walkthrough out. It's a very daunting task to consider that. So, more than likely, I'm going to be getting maybe 1 or 2 big walkthroughs out a year and focusing on smaller content along the way. And we'll just see how that goes from here. I'm not looking to make bank doing this, but it would be nice to be able to reach partner level and have, even if it's a passive income of 10 or 15 bucks a week, like that would be incredible. So we'll see how it goes from here. That's kind of my plan right now for the beginning of the year, to hopefully have a name change and a logo and all of that fun stuff. And you can probably tell that I have my setup the way I want it now. I figured out the audio issues I was having, and I think I got everything perfect. You are watching Calico footage in the background because I don't really have a script for this video, so I didn't want to focus on trying to play a game and make sure I covered all of the talking points. But I'm pretty sure I have the audio mixing all correct, and I have my setup exactly the way I need it to record in the best fashion, so I am pumped to get back to making the walkthroughs for all of you. And yeah, that's basically it. If you have any questions or comments for me, reach out to me. Thank you all so much for the love and support you've shown over the last couple of months. And my next update will hopefully be on the first of the year or around that, where you will likely see an updated channel. So just keep that in mind. If you don't find me anymore, I may have made changes to the website, the YouTube channel, all of that, and changed the name and logo. So you might have a little bit of a learning curve. Just keep an eye out for that video. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter/X at BonkyKook Gaming. I may be making a new Twitter handle for the new name as well. I haven't really decided that yet either. But, as always, if you have questions, reach out to me. I'll do my best to help you out with whatever you may need. But if not, I will see you guys at the beginning of the year.